What is up, everybody? This is Lyle with No Hippie Trucking and Transportation, and I am a wannabe no longer. I just completed my first solo load. It was a load going from Cassville, Missouri to Los Lunas, New Mexico. Basically, Albuquerque, New Mexico. Just under 900 miles to get that load done. And I'm just sitting here at a truck stop right now. Figured since I'm up, I might as well go ahead and tell you guys about my experience. Now, during this run, I'm going to tell you, I did more backing in this one load than I did probably during my first 30,000 miles of TNT training. And kind of why it happened was a number of different things. Part of it had to do with the shipper and receiver, and then just some things along the way. So here's kind of what happened. So I'm picking up a chicken load, and I get out to the shipper, and I need to park the trailer. So there's one back right there. So back that load up, go handle the paperwork, and then they say, okay, grab this other trailer. So it turned out to be a drop-in hook, which I didn't know that it was going to be. My fleet manager told me that it was going to be a live load. So, but that's good. So, get my other trailer, and we need to weigh on the way out of this place. Now, the good thing about them having a scale was this trailer is not yet calibrated, so that gave me a little bit of peace of mind. So, once I got that trailer, I had to go over the scale, and once you go over the scale, you have to go repark. They tell you what your weights are. You have to find a spot, and really the only place to park at this time was in parking spots to slide your tandems and make sure that your weight was correct. So when I first went through, my weight wasn't correct, so pulled off, found a place to back into, fixed my tandems, went through the scale again. Now, since they were kind of busy, what they were telling you was, and this was the place that you didn't have to have a CB, but they were basically talking to you on the CB radio, so that came in handy that I have a CB. So once you got scaled out, you couldn't wait in front of the scale and walk in and get your paperwork because there was a line behind you, so I had to pull through again, go find a place to park, walk in and get my paperwork. So there's a bunch of backing right there. Now, finding places to park and take 30-minute breaks and stuff like that really was never an issue when I was running as a team, but it really became an issue during this first leg of the trip. And I really didn't think about Oklahoma having not that great of places to park, but Oklahoma really didn't have that many places to park. So the truck stops that I was trying to go to, I couldn't, they were all pretty busy, so you couldn't take a 30-minute break in front of the fuel island. So actually, I think I found a rest area or something to take the 30-minute break. But then when it came to parking for the night, that's when it became an issue. So I'm down to about 45 minutes left on my clock, trying to find a place to park. So I see this hotel and a truck stop, so I'm like, okay, let me go check it out, because I saw a couple of trucks in this hotel parking lot, and then there was a truck stop there, so I figured if I couldn't find parking at the hotel, which looked like it had available parking, then I would just go to the truck stop. So I pull into this hotel, I think it was like a Quality Inn or something like that, back into there. As soon as I back into that spot, I look up and it said, truckers, if you're not staying here, you can't park here, something like that. So after backing that in, I had to go find another place to park. Went to the TA, I think it was a TA right next door, drove through there, just like I thought. There was no parking there, or there was no legal parking. So my hours are kind of running out. So I parked in a place that was kind of right next to their little service center. It wasn't like an actual spot, and I was gonna have to be there for 10 hours. So I backed in there and I thought about it, and I was like, man, this isn't gonna work. They're gonna be waking me up, asking me to move here in a little bit. So I got on Trucker Path, found out that there was a Flying J down the street that had some parking. So drove down the street about 15, 20 miles. Now I got like 20 minutes left on my clock. Find a space, back into that. So we got all that backing right there. So stayed there overnight till about, well, it doesn't matter when I left. I left to finish the load. I had about 500 more miles. Well, no, I had about 400 more miles to finish on this load. So I'm driving into this Walmart, get to the Walmart, check in. They tell me what door to get into. Pull around there. There's a truck in the door. So I circled the lot a few times to see if that truck is going to move out. It doesn't look like it's going to move out. So there were a couple empty spots near the end of this, near the end of the facility. So I backed into there, and I was going to wait for this other door to clear out. As soon as I back into that spot, the spot that the door I was supposed to move into opened up. So then I drove back around and backed into that spot. So delivered that load. Then I had to find a place to get another 10-hour break in. So I pulled in. Who would have known a truck stop at Albuquerque? And listen, this Flying J in Albuquerque, I'm not sure, how many they got out here. This place is just a mess. Parking is super tight. Anyway, it's just a mess. If you have other options, choose other options. But got out here, and there were a few open spots on the backside. So I figured, okay, let me hit one of these. Pull in, set up. Everything is looking perfect. And I go to swing around to straighten up and back in, and it's too tight in front of me the way I set up. And the Freightliner, I would have been able to do it because the Freightliner has a little bit of a better turning radius. So I ended up having to, what I was planning on doing was just aborting that and then just driving around and then setting up again and then backing into that same spot. But as I drove around, there was another spot that I saw that basically I just did a U-turn, did a little bit of a snake method, and then straight backed it in. So that's quite a bit of backing for one load, but it's good to get that first load under my belt. Listen, this Peterbilt, I need to do a video completely on this Peterbilt. Who knows? All these trucks are mechanical and all that kind of stuff, so anything could go wrong. But I'm telling you, fuel mileage, you're going to be lacking a little bit there. But safety, I look at a smooth ride as safety, because sometimes you hit some of them bumps in them Freightliners, and that bad boy wants to almost go into another lane or something like that. But this thing just eats up potholes. But there's a lot of stuff, way more stuff I like about this truck than the Freightliner. A few things I don't like about it. That's probably going to have to be a video in itself. But I'm sitting here waiting on another load. I think I have about 5 more hours till I'm available. And I'll be honest with you, if I have to sit here overnight, I would not be complaining, because I really haven't had good sleep. This guy next to me over here with Western Flyer and his Kenworth T680 with the bumper tore off. See, the bumper's tore off the front of his truck, but instead of, I don't know what he's doing, but he has bungee cords that's holding the bumper up on his truck, and he has his truck running. So all I'm hearing is this truck rattling next to me, and this is the loudest I've ever had to deal with in trying to sleep in trucking right now with this guy next to me. But they do have a nice little taco shop across the street, so if I do end up staying here tonight, I will go over there. I was looking at some reviews on Trucker Path, and they say that taco place is legit. They say the truck stop is horrible, but the taco shop across the street is great. So just want to tell you, man, I am hyped up. Glad to get that out of the way. It's a little windy out here in New Mexico right now. I mean, it's almost windy to the point, well, it's died down a little bit to where I'm thinking about putting my landing gear down. Just because it has, I had seen some or felt some gusts that came through that were, kind of rocking us a bit, and I know that it can get seriously windy in this corridor that I'm in right now. Anyway, trying to think if there's anything else. Some people had asked me to do like a truck tour, stuff like that. Listen, I got some goofy decal on the side of this thing, some football theme or something like that. If I plan on keeping this, I'm thinking about getting those decals taken off and then getting like a No Hippie LLC on it with a big old like peace symbol and like tie-dye. I think that'd be tight. But anyway, it's called No Hippie, but I'm a hippie at heart. I want to thank you guys for stopping by No Hippie Trucking and Transportation. We shed that wannabe. We're going to hand that off to some other people that are going through TNT training right now. And I am out.